Namaskaram. Hi, dear friends. I think we're all still left with a hangover from the fourth episode of season four's Expressions Espresso. You know what I'm talking about? The episode with the two lovely ladies. The openness, the honesty, the free flow of thoughts, peppered with a generous, really generous inclusion of music, really made the last episode a viewer's delight, I would say. We received a lot of applause for that evening, and that only endorses the fact that music is perhaps the most beautiful bond that brings us all together and keeps us tied to the pillar of unity. Thank you, Suju and Shweta, for your warm interaction and the delightfully chatty and giggle moments. It was a fun evening and our viewers loved it. With Expressions Espresso going on stage today, can music be far behind? Today is the day for a male voice to take us to that blissful space. With a lot of woman power and music in the last month, along comes the night of change. Hailing from Kollam in God's own country, this peppy youngster was raised in Abu Dhabi. His coming closer to home was when he was selected by SS Music in a competition, and that was a sort of a launch pad for his aspirations. Having discovered fairly early that he had a body that adapted well to rhythm, he was a natural at stage shows, bringing in the desired element of joy of the joie de vivre so very easily and so very naturally, holding his audience in raptures. Quitting his corporate job for the love of music, this young man has no regrets, and in fact was not even deterred when he found the going a little difficult initially. Patience and perseverance always pay. Don't they say that? Look where he is today. Such is his indomitable spirit and focus in seeing his passion through. A linguist, he has sung in 11 languages so far, all the South Indian ones: English, Hindi, Gujarati, Assamese, Marathi, Bengali, and yes, Arabic too. He's the recipient of the most influential Young Indian Award, the R.D. Burman Award for New Music Talent, and the Stardust Award for the New Musical Sensation, simply proving that he has arrived. Apart from music, which is his lifeline, he enjoys cooking, dancing, and watching movies and shows. It is my pleasure to welcome Benny Dayal to Expressions Espresso, episode 4 of season.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Benny. How do you feel? I know
Uh,
you traveled from Chennai today.
yes, I did travel. I did travel today from Chennai
So,
into.
what brought you to Chennai yesterday?
I was shooting, recording, and the usual, you know, just working. I, as you all know, that I am a judge on a Tamil music reality show called Super Singer, and we were just finishing, the pre-finale shoots and everything, and we have just one more grand finale to happen, on the end of this month, and that'll be like a live telecast. So yeah, I was a part of that. So I was there for it.
Yeah, yeah, we know that. So do you feel sad when it gets over? Because, it's lovely to be with youngsters, and, the elimination round is quite painful, and you have to but do it, right?
Yeah. Well, the format is a cruel one. I would definitely say the format is a cruel one. The show is a great show. The format is a cruel one. And, it causes a lot of, what do you call it? I would say it causes a lot of noise and, amongst the audience who's rooting for somebody or the other. And but it's beautiful, like it's engaging the people in one way or the other, and keeping them intact at the same time, very aware of what's happening in the show. So it's just a brilliant journey altogether.
Yeah, but we have to be practical also, realistically looking at it. I mean, everyone can't be a winner. I mean,
Correct.
and the judges look at various aspects of the singing. It's just not the voice, it's just not one presentation. You look at so many aspects, right? So
Yes.
there has to be an elimination. I mean, I guess people would understand it deep in their hearts, but, peripherally, you love somebody's music and you
I
watch
I
it.
actually I'm actually a person generally in life who doesn't what do you call embrace victory so much. So like I think it just makes you complacent. I somehow feel it will make you complacent at some point.
I
But
think that's maturity more than complacence. I think you
yes, but
become mature and accept.
no, maturing is definitely there, ma'am. But like, see, on the route to victory, when you lose, it's painful. But I would say that the pain is more important than the victory, because that makes you a better artist eventually. That's more important in life, because this one victory is just going to happen today, and it's
Yes.
going to fade away, and it's going to be another winner the next season. But that pain that cost you should become literature, should become art, and that makes you a better artist, whether you won or not.
The pain is a learning, in fact, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. So now it's time for me to give you a bouquet. And, I can't give you a real flower bouquet. So it's
That's
going to
fine.
be a two raga bouquet, two ragas that you like. ஜகம் புகழும் ஏழுமலை மாயவனே ஜகம் புகழும் ஏழுமலை மாயவனே திருமகளர் மேல் மங்கை மணாளனே ஜெகநாதா சங்க சக்கரதரணி திருவடி அபயம் அபயமயா ஜெய ஸ்ரீனிவாச திருவேங்கடமுடையான் ஜெய கோவிந்த முகுந்தா especially for you?
My day is blessed. Thank you so much, man. It's so amazing to just hear you like this in person. I've only seen you on
You know,
stage, but
it's always, I
to
always love these interactions where music just flows. It's like uncluttered, and it's very. You call it unplugged, is it? What do you call it in
I
your
don't know.
language?
I just call it love. I don't give it terms.
Good, good. Now I'm going to move to the questions because I'm sure a lot of the younger crowd and the audience are waiting to know your journey thus far, what you've been
Wow.
through, and what perhaps is your learning, what is your advice to youngsters coming in. A lot of questions. You grew up in Abu Dhabi, Benny. So,
Yeah.
how much of Indian music did you have around you then? And what was your exposure to Carnatic music? Are you Carnatic music classically trained?
I would say I'm trained. I'm very mildly trained, but more of a listener. And most of my Carnatic singing, of course, I did learn. But the thing is, like most of my Carnatic singing chops, I would say, is all the techniques I've acquired is by singing to myself at home for what do you call when I was learning Bharatanatyam as a kid. So like all those compositions, singing has developed a quality, and probably I would say emoting. Uh, you know. However the song requires kind of thing, it's just really helped me from that. I would say dance has played a big role in me being a good musician too. uh,
Uh-huh.
because I would say, like everybody says, like all your songs are like so peppy and this and that and everything.
Yes.
Have you actually learned music? Some people, because I sing, so that's those songs, like they won't expect me to be like classically trained or anything, but and because they see me do all this, Western dance forms, in my social media and everything, they all think I'm not probably trained in Indian classical either. But that's exactly what my foundation is. And growing up in Abu Dhabi, we were exposed to a lot of Indian music because there's a huge Indian community there.
Yes.
And I grew up competing all my life, like right from the age of 6. I've been just competing and just getting better on stage, getting better in terms of the art form. But after I was like, probably 15, 16, my 11th and 12th, when I was studying, I kind of got fed up of competing because I thought, like, this is not going to take you anywhere. You're just
Hmm.
going to be good at that moment, like
Right.
how is it helping you to become a better musician? So for me, my ears like completely turned into just listening more than just practicing every day. And a lot of people keep telling me, like, sir, how you do this, how you do that, like especially when you're on the show. Like I get these questions from all the contestants, so they always ask me, how do you do this, how do you do that? I say you have to pay attention to the song first. That's the first thing I say, like, because a lot of singers, if you have noticed, there are a lot of singers who hear a song, they'll start singing along with it.
Yes.
The first thing is to, like, and then just listen. So so
Yeah.
yeah, so I listen to a lot of music, like a lot of music. It's not even funny. So it's always inspired me. And I'm Indian music has been very, very close to my heart, mostly because I was a Malayali and grew up around all my Malayali family, uncles and aunts and everyone. My most of my schooling, like my singing, came through just learning Malayalam songs and singing Chitrama songs mostly on stage. Like
Oh,
being a
so
boy,
sweet.
but being a boy, I always sang Chitrama song. And I don't know, I just love Chitrama so much. And I've told her this, like, I think I have a unique tone of my own, is because I actually see you're gonna mature, your voice is gonna break, you're gonna hit puberty, and there'll be a point where you're no more having a childish voice.
Yeah.
You've become a man, you're turning into a man. So for me, like, even at that age, like, the transition was quite smooth for me. It didn't affect my range or anything. My Carnatic teacher was a female. It was no, I didn't learn under a male professor. And because of that, I was always singing at my teacher's key, which really improved my range as a singer.
Yes.
Whenever, because if you want like good upper range. And one of my teachers, she had a really low register. She was a proper baritone, what you would call in Western classical. She was a proper baritone, so I could really develop my low registers, my what do you call it, my tarasthai and everything, my madhyasthai, tarasthai and everything. I could like really develop so well because of that. So singing along with the comfortable key that my teacher is comfortable with was, I think, the main thing that led me to being versatile and attempting any key given to me in the studio as far as my career was concerned. So that way, exposure to Indian music was just vast for me, and my parents were super encouraging, and they just loved me that I was doing music, and it was a great outlet for me to express myself and just be myself as a kid.
Well, I just heard something very unusual from you now. Usually it's the teacher who changes the key to the students'
Yeah,
uh, learning.
yeah.
But you said you adapted yourself. I mean, that's so wonderful because it helps you to improve the spectrum in your
No,
octave.
I never showed discomfort to my teachers when I was learning, because of which my teacher could teach me the correct way, because she's comfortable singing in this range, and she could show me how each note is hit, how each inflection is attained, how it is perfected. So she could sing again and again and show me in her comfortable key, and I didn't know as a kid, so I just kept singing along with her, and I think I developed my vocal range, because that's the acquiring age, when you're like sitting and like grasping everything possible. So yeah, like you said.
So, what drove you to choose cinema as a career? Because you
Ma-
believed in it, or you loved it, or you had faith in that direction? What was it?
Ma'am, I'll tell you something. See, initially as a kid, I will tell you, like, I just saw, for me, what happened was, of course, the fame that comes along with this is like very infectious. Okay.
Yes.
And I'm not lying. Fame is very, very infectious. And at the same time, I thought, like, I can be successful. I can sing for this person. I can sing for that person. I can sing for this composer. And they were all dreams, just dreams brewing in the mind of, a young boy. But as I got into the industry, I realized, like, it's not about just being famous and staying famous. It's about, working hard and building your body of work, and focusing on the music, because I learned that eventually. But yeah, I really thought I was going to be, I'll be very famous, and this is what like drove me to it. But there was another aspect that actually changed that for me when I was in like probably my ninth standard, is because Mr. Rahman was like introducing newer singers, and every other movie had a newer voice. Like when you would expect like someone like Hariji to be singing in the third film, you'd hear a newer singer over there. You would have
Yeah.
heard a Mahalakshmi Iyer arriving into what do you call, into Dil Se, or and then you hear her and Hariji together in Kandugondain. So like all those beautiful, like that evolution of just bringing newer singers just gave me hope that I can also be one, and I can
Yeah.
also find success, and I can also find what do you call, joy and happiness through doing this. That was the other one reason. It was him. Mr. Rahman was the reason.
I'm sure aspiring youngsters will take a cue from what you've said right now. What is important to really get into music? It's just
Correct.
not that fame, because everyone wants that fame. But
Yes.
in trying to get to that fame, we lose out on the initial foundation. That haste,
Yes, ma'am.
takes away that practice, riyaz, the hours of
So well said.
listening that you have to do. All that, I think, plays a very important role in finally reaching your destination, or whatever you want to call it.
True, it's true, ma'am. Because see, like today, I don't know how many youngsters are watching right now, but whoever's watching, I just want to tell them that social media has become such an addictive place for you to like just immediately put out something. But like even someone like Sudha ma'am or me, like when we make something, or if you're rendering something, we would have practiced that at least for like an hour,
Yes, of course.
and perfected it, and felt like, okay, now I'm ready to like go for one, shoot this video before I post it. But like the sad part is I keep receiving a lot of videos sent to me saying like, sir, how did I do in this? I said, I would tell them like, please practice more, because this impatience that leads to the need to be what you call validated extremely,
Yes,
you know,
yes.
validated just immediately is poisonous. It's just really poisonous, because it doesn't help you become a better musician. It just makes you what do you call something to be spoken about for that moment, and it's never going to be an evergreen thing. Like, why do we still remember what do you call PB Srinivas? Why do we still remember Kishore Kumar? Why do we still remember Mohammed Rafi even after their times have passed? It's just because they've put in the work, and everybody
Yeah.
needs to put in the work.
So I'm going to quote what you've said. I remember going door to door and asking for opportunities as even to sing a chorus part. That shows that difficult trail that you have, walked. So you climbed the ladder the difficult way, the way probably every successful musician finally does. And
Yes.
that's what has brought you where you are today. So was it a bitter phase? Was it like, that dejection, rejection was something that made you? I know you spoke about pain, how it helps in learning. But I want you to specifically address this question because I know a lot of youngsters who, try to get into cinema, try to get on the classical stage, and do face not so many opportunities. Not They don't get embraced easily, and that puts them into a kind of a state of no, I don't want to do music anymore.
Well,
It's sad. Yeah.
yeah, it is very sad, man. But I'll tell you something. Today, a bunch of kids, they don't put in the time, like especially instruments. You know,
Hmm. Hmm.
musical instruments. Everybody will buy a guitar and then learn a few chords and learn how to adjust to sing any other song in those few chords that they know.
Yeah.
But like, there are so many musicians out there who've learned like the piano from the age of 6, who's learned mridangam from the age of 4. People who've learned violin, which is such a hard instrument to learn. Like,
Oh
it takes
yes.
at least 6 years. It takes for you to, like, if you practice properly, it takes you at least 6 years to just play it in key. So then building expression comes from all the life experiences and all those years of just playing. But like, nobody is willing. I had this conversation with somebody in 2014. If you don't know this, his name is Karsh Kale. So Karsh Kale is a renowned music producer from Brooklyn, and he's a tabla player. He was a shishya to what do you call he was a shishyan to Ustad Zakir Hussain, and so worked with him, played with him, experienced playing with Ustad Zakir Hussain and Ustad Sultan Khan on Sarangi. So he's seen that journey, and he's seen how much hard work goes into just learning that instrument. So today's youngsters don't believe in it. They just want to buy a laptop, they want to start making beats, and they just want to be a producer. But you don't have a melodic sense, you don't have a sense of intonation, sense of harmony, and you think you put this together, it sounds cool. No, it is not, because music's foundation comes from the 7 notes, which is sarigama padani or do re mi fa sol la ti. So it's universal that way, this way. It's just that I feel just getting to learn the foundation of music is the most important thing, which people don't do. Some people are naturally gifted with a good ear, and
Yes.
they do well. They are blessed. Those are the blessed ones. So yeah, I think everyone needs to diligently learn music to be a musician, which is very, very important. Not only just music, whether it's dance or whether it is photography or painting or sculpting, whatever. It's just all of it.
So your first song was with the legendary SPB,
Yeah.
Balelaka?
Yes.
Yes, for the superstar film Shivaji in 2007. Now you have to talk about this whole experience because I think it must have given you an adrenaline rush to sing this song. Because even when I think of that song, I feel, the body moves.
It's true. It is. It was like Rahman sir. Okay, Rahman sir was like in the concept, like, hey, have you heard this instrument, this Bulgarian instrument called balaika? I'm like, no. Like, I was just 22 at that time. I was like so young, and I was like, balaika. I was like, no, sir. It's the first time I'm hearing. Yeah, there's an instrument. So I thought I'll make this word called balelaka. Abdina. So it means
So
nothing.
cute, yeah. It
Yeah,
means
so cute.
nothing.
But look at the inspiration on the sound. I love the sound of that word, balelaka, balaika. Like, he was just saying like that.
Yeah.
And then he's like, Chari, this is the this is the tune now. Let's do a track. And he told me SPB sir is singing it, so I wanted to sing it like very strong. And he was like, at that I learned that later about Mr. Rahman. Like, if he really likes you, he starts presenting your voice to the big singers, the big directors that you're working on. This is Shankar sir's movie, and SPB sir is singing. So SPB sir is going to learn the song from my voice. I sang the whole track for him, and
Oh,
that song is such a weightlifter. It's like it's a heavyweight song. It's so hard, and like he made me mold my tone, because Rahman sir had like done a complete vocal, what do you call, he makes me sing a bunch of stuff, and he'd be like, idu padu, adu padu, sing this, sing that, sing this,
yeah.
sing that. And then I sang a lot of stuff, and he liked, I did an Elvis Presley song for him, and he loved how I sang my baritone having a high range. So he was like, that's very interesting, man. Like, can you use that Elvis tone? He said like that in this
Oh,
song.
Lord.
So that's how I started. "Eh, bolle lakka, bolle." I had to sing it like that, So I had to like completely transform my singing, and he loved it. And then the next thing I know is like SPB sir has recorded it, and the recording process with sir was such a brilliant what do you call experience, because it was just an adrenaline rush. The song is
Yeah.
just, it's galloping away, and it's just like there's no stop to it. The song is just like, it's energetic, and it's just like, thumping. Everything is there. The heart is there, the soul is there, the melody is there, everything is so much love in it. And eventually, when the audio was about to release, is when like he said, and by then I had like sung a lot of songs for him, which I didn't know were gonna release, because it's a mystery when you work with him. You don't know what you're singing for. I never ask what I'm singing for. So I did a lot of weeks later, months later, and he was like, "Hey, you remember you sang that song for me? That track you sang for SPB?" I was like, "Yes, sir, Bale Laka." I said, "Huh, your name is there on the CD, okay?" He said like that. I was like, "What?" I just said, "What?" I said like that to him, and he's like, "Why, man? Why are you so astounded?" I said, "No, sir, this is the first time my name is gonna be on a CD."
So
I said,
sweet.
"Yeah, I told you the first time my name is gonna be CD." He's like, "Hey, great, man. Your first song is the SPB, man. Like, think about
Yeah.
it." And in Tamil,
I,
he said, "Enna Rashiyana Vishaya idu." He said like that. And then he also, and he added to, I'll never forget this. He added to this. He said like, "Hey, you've sung many other songs for me, man. Let them all release, okay? The whole world will work with you." I was like,
awesome.
wow, this man has a vision, because that's exactly how my journey went after my songs came out. It was flying into Bombay and singing over here, coming back to Chennai, and like, meeting everybody, the great musicians, and just like getting the validation just without even asking, because it was it was real tearjerker for me in my life for
Yeah,
that.
of course.
Those words really changed the way I perceived about him, because he's working with you, having a vision for you, and that was his intention. Let all the songs come out, the whole world will work with you. I was like, wow,
The
that
generosity.
generosity is unbelievable.
Yeah. So now you have to sing that Balelaka.
ஏ பல்லே லக்கா சேலத்துக்கா மதுரைக்கா மட்ராஸுக்கா திருச்சிக்கா திருத்தாணிக்கா ஏ பல்லே லக்கா விட்டு மத்த மக்களுக்கா அண்ணா வந்த தமிழ்நாடும் அமெரிக்கா.
So how can anyone sit quietly to this? You have to either move your body or at
Yeah,
least tap your legs, right?
it is.
However old you are. Yeah.
My feet are always by the way, talking about feet tapping, I get yelled by all composers except Rahman sir for tapping my feet while recording, because I just can't stop tapping my feet.
Mm-hmm.
And Rahman sir, most composers, like including Harris sir, if you know, Harris will,
Yes.
"Hey, no, don't tap your feet,
Yeah.
don't tap your feet." He'll say like that. But Rahman sir was so kind. He was like, "Hey, you tap, man. You dance. Don't sing like it's a job." He says like, "Don't sing like it's a job. You enjoy. It's okay, man. Sound I'll take care of. You sing. You enjoy. You have a good time in the studio." He says that. So yeah, it's a problem. At the same time, it's a blessing too.
Chakra Katti, where you sang that Chinnamma Chilakamma. That was all. I think Balelaka and that song, if I weigh them in a balance, I don't know. It depends on my mood. Sometimes I sway this way, sometimes I sway that way. Can we hear a few lines from that?
Huh. ஜல் ஜலக்கு ஜலக்கு உன் கொஞ்சல் சொல் எதுக்கு எதுக்கு விழிக்கெஞ்சல் வெக்கம் ஒடுக்கு ஒடுக்கு அதில் இடைஞ்சல் So that's a female line. But anyway, this is how the
Yeah.
song was. It was a fairly what do you call, easier process for me, because I really loved the Hindi version of it, which was sung by Sukhvinder Singh. So when I got into the studio, I said, "Oh, sir is recreating this song. Okay, fine, not a problem. We'll smash this out, because we're all fans at the end of the day."
Yeah.
And I just had to, like, maintain that whole what do you call, how Sukhwinder has that very very Sufistic what do you call, that Punjabi
That
gharana of singing.
layer, yeah. That
Yeah, that
layer.
later. So I had to, like, implement that, like, Umma, 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 Nilave, Nilave. All those stuff, So all those little things, like, I had to just throw it away, I just couldn't contain it, and it was brilliant that way. Just a great experience.
But you
Uh,
still haven't come to those two beautiful words.
which
Chinnamma, Chinnamma.
Chinnamma Chilakama
Ah,
Sharararara Chinnamma Chilakama Sharararara Chinnamma Chilakama Sharararara Chinnamma
ah,
Sharararara.
beautiful. That jump is it's so unexpected, and it
Yeah,
makes you like open out the entire space, as you said.
man, that song is a beauty. It's just an absolute beauty. And to have sung a recreation of that in Tamil was like amazing. And my first song was with Chinmay that way, and she was also like very encouraging. Actually, I had sung the song fully before Chinmay had come to record it, and I was just sitting there in the corner in the studio, very quiet, and I was hearing my voice through the door of
Hmm.
Panchatan's studio. And I remember, like, she's like, "Oh wow, like, new singer, huh?" It's like, I said, I think so. I said, I don't want to be obnoxious, because, like, I'm not
We're
taking,
trying to be humble, huh?
no,
Because
not
you know
humble,
that it was
not being
good.
humble,
By
actually.
then, you would have known it was going to be wonderful. I mean, see, when you hear yourself, sometimes you need that self validation. You need
Ma'am,
to tell yourself, "I've done well." So I
no,
think
ma'am.
you were
I'm
pretending
not
to
like
be
that, ma'am.
humble.
I don't take these things for granted. Like, even if I've sung a
I'm just
song, like
teasing you.
even today,
I'm
even
just
today.
teasing you, Benny. Come on.
No, I'm absolutely scared. You have no idea. I'm absolutely scared all the time. Like, every time I sing a song, "No, பாத்துக்கலாம். வரும்போது பாத்துக்கலாம்." I say, like,
Yeah,
when it
yeah,
releases, let's see. So
correct.
I never take it for granted. So that's why when she asked, "Is it new singer?" I said, "Yeah, I think so." I said like that. And then she went inside and she sang her bits and she came out. She's like, "Dave, Pavi." She's like, "You sang." I'm
I
like,
know. I can imagine her saying that.
yeah, I'm like, no, Chidmay, like, I didn't want to be, like, very conceited, or, like, it's like nothing that you sung it so well. She said, thanks, thanks, thanks. So I was just, like, very, very grateful and very humbled by it. That's how it is.
So Michael Jackson seems to have had a great influence ever since your dad gifted you the Moonwalker movie at the age of 5. Wow. And I think he realized that you have rhythm built within. So tell us about that.
Well, ma'am, actually, when I was from the age of 3, I've been like, I see any music, I start dancing, and I would start and imitate whatever's going on thing on screen. And so then I was just dancing to all these film songs that I see on TV and the cassettes that my parents are watching. And then my dad gifted me the Moonwalker thing, and I just went berserk. I was like, "Who's this guy? Like, who is this human being?" And
Yeah.
like, it's like, I think my brain, I felt like I took an injection of steroids or something. Like my
I can
brain just couldn't
imagine.
handle it. I was like, "What is going on? Like, what's happening to me?" Like, when you think about it, you didn't realize that you're just awestruck, no, all the time. And at that time, and then, like, slowly, when you think about it, as you grow older, you realize that this man is the reason. He is the reason, because he's a complete artist. He's a complete artist. He knows how to explain how a song needs to be done. He knows how to dance. He can teach choreographers how to create the choreography of the song. And at the same time, singing, so forget it. He's a phenomenon. Like, he sings in a vocal key where even certain women can't even sing it. It's so high, and the key is so what do you call, so complex. And all those things, like, just changed my life. And also, the funniest part was, like, I was so into breakdancing. I just loved it so much. I used to dance all the time. I used to break all the time. I did when I did the moonwalk in front of my dad was like, "Oh my God, he did it exactly like Michael." He was like that. So, and then he enrolled me into a dance competition in the Indian club in Abu Dhabi for the first time, and I won for some reason.
Of course. What some reason? You would have, when you
No,
yourself say that it was almost at par with Michael Jackson's
no, no, no,
steps.
no. It was not at par, and but for a kid at the age of 4, 5, and all, like to just replicate that was like a big revelation for everyone. Was like, everyone like so stunned. And I remember when I did the moonwalk for the first time, and like I was getting applause. I was like, oh, this is what it feels like, and I got scared. Like I didn't know how to react. I was a kid. I still remember because my memory is so sharp. I still remember like they all started applauding. I didn't know like this was going to be like this. So it was a complete what do you call change in the whole thing. But then my mom and dad said, "Okay, we are taking you for dance class." I said, "Yes!" I was so happy. And then my mom takes me and I see this dance teacher and I'm like, she said like, "I don't teach all this break dance. I teach Bharatanatyam." I'm like, "What?" It was like the biggest robbery, like that happened to me. It was like, and every day I used to cry when I used to go to class. I don't want to
Oh,
go. There are too many girls. They're making fun of me. Like
yeah.
I was the only guy.
Yeah.
I was the only guy in the class. But what happened was, as weeks went by, my teacher, she never. I didn't understand what she was talking. And then when I grew older, my mother told me that the reason why teacher loves you so much is because you were way better than the girls in class, and you used to remember what was taught to you the next day. Your memory is very good. You don't forget your choreography. It's a great quality. And then she told my mom, like, he's really fast. He's faster than the other girls. He's moving faster when it comes to
Yeah.
mudras or whenever it's to the basic adavu and everything. She said, like, he's really fast and everything. So, and then when I competed for the first time in a Bharatanatyam competition, I placed third. And I remember that really boosted my morale. I was like, oh, okay, I'm good. I just need to get better. So, and then my mom's a trained Bharatanatyam dancer too.
Oh,
So she was like an add-on, like how when you do when you sculpt something, and then the last stage of sculpting is sandpapering, where you sandpaper and you just make those edges smooth
fine.
and fine. Yeah, my mom was that person in my life because she also knew dance so well. She was an amazing dancer. So she also likes to take a part class at home, and she'll tell me like, okay, this wherever your eyes go, edo hasta tado drishti, whatever. So all that happened, and she explained everything to me, and she showed me how it could be refined, how the movements could be refined. So like my mother is like, she's the backbone. That's her. So um, and she's the backbone to my development, my growth, my I think the person I am completely.
I think for all of us, most artists, they refer to their mothers as their first guru and the person who was the backbone. So, to me too, I agree. How important or not important are godfathers in the music industry?
I don't know, ma'am. For me, I never asked for one. It just happened to me. Like I never expected someone would like really like me and mentor me. Because to get that is very rare. So either you get one or you don't. If you get one, probably they think you have potential. And when you don't, I think it's probably think like, don't waste your time, figure out something else. That's the right
Who for
mentorship,
a
I think.
godmother then? Godfather, illana godmother.
Irukku, ma'am. I have a godfather.
Yeah.
My godfather is Mr. Pravin Mani. Pravin Mani is he was the one who did the S5 album, like you had introduced me in the beginning of this interview. He produced that album, so he's the one who taught me my way around the studio, recording, singing, harmonizing, mic distance, just texture, tones, positions,
Wow.
intensity of how much to sing, and no over singing, like all those things. Like if the song requires this, it only requires this. Like don't try to prove a point, like all those really philosophical beautiful things that make you a good artist. All that I learned from Pravin. Pravin is the reason that I developed a great bass. And then Mr. Rahman, because after that it was just him just letting you fly. He's like, go for it. He's like, go for it, go for it. Like it's like that. So it was always a fun time. And for me, some things that he says just really changed my life. Like he said it so beautifully that even I was so stunned. Don't you have moments like where someone would tell something and you'll be just stunned? It'll be the most simplest thing. And I've always kept those things very close to my heart. Like all both of them, whatever they've taught me and whatever they've imparted with me.
Right.
Yeah.
You spoke about the distance of between the singer and the mic.
Yeah.
So how important is that really? Because we all think that going closer to the condenser mic is good, and then
Yeah, man,
certain
but if you're singing really soft, it is awesome to go closer. It's okay because it captures more of your breath and more of those what do you call elements, which add so much more character to your voice. Like if you've sung Analmele Panituli, it's so soft. He
yes,
would have placed you. But for me, like I'm also like a very Madarek Pogadadi, like singing like that, right? Where I'm like belting. So all those distances, and I've watched so many singers through these both of their references. Like watch this singer, man, go YouTube, like check out this singer, how he sings on the mic, and you'll hear how he is far away singing a note and then he comes closer into the mic to just show the dynamical what do you call beauty of his singing style. So all those things has like really taught me so much. And
do
even
you
live.
also believe in this chest voice, head voice, the back head, and all of that?
Yeah, of course, it's very, very important because it's like how we say Nabi Kandam and Rasam. How the wind flows. It's very important. But in
Yes.
because I learned a lot, I listened to a lot of R&B and soul and blues and jazz and everything. I feel there are some parts of the song where you just sing from here. This muscle,
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
this muscle is very, very important because it saves your chest.
Yes.
Because if you sing so much from your chest voice, you might not have a chest voice after a point, which is very important at the right parts of the song where it transitions up and down.
Mhm.
But I feel like using these muscles just save everything. And I learned an amazing line from Hariharan sir. He said like, "Hey man, when you're singing a higher note, don't think vertically, think horizontally." He says,
That's
you know,
so amazing, right? When you think
yeah,
of a high note, you
yeah.
would think vertical,
You go
right?
like that. You go like
Yeah.
that. But if you see Haryana sing Haryana, immediately he will duck his head down when he sings in terms. And I taught this to a lot of singers this season, and they've been just hugging me every time when they come meet me. They're like, "Sir, it's so good, sir. I hit the note
No, even
5 times in a
Chitrama,
row."
if you realize, I mean, if you
She
watch
does
her,
this. She does
yeah,
this.
she does this. Yeah.
That's the position. She just sings like that. Her head goes sideways like that.
Yes.
But that's the right technique, ma'am. It's just we are so used to singing like that, and nobody. Sometimes teachers don't correct us when we sing like this. I was also singing like this sometimes,
Yeah.
but if you have immaculate range, it's okay. It's not gonna affect you. But when you're trying hard to hit something so high, I think this technique really helps you let the wind flow up to your head, and let you have that moment of just nailing that note. So yes, these things.
So, Omana Penne from VTV,
Oh
uh,
yes,
I think it was a blockbuster, right?
I think so.
What is that one specific thing that you felt clicked in that song? I mean, did you realize that even as you recorded, or did you feel that after you recorded, or only after the CD was released?
Oh, ma'am, I'll tell you something. Actually, I don't like once I sing a song, I never let people know that I've sung something to anybody. That's
That's
it's
great.
I'm very, very secretive about what I work on and what I'm doing. So I just so I sang this basically one night. I was in the studio and we were done recording, and sir hadn't told me you can go home yet. So I thought maybe he wants to work on something because he's awake too. So I was waiting in the studio, and then I slowly pushed the door and I went and sat over. Then he was listening to this composition that it was a very basic structured composition that he had done and kept. And he was like startled. I was sitting there. He said, "Hey man, I didn't know you were there." And then after that, like he just stopped the song, and then I heard it just minutely at that time. I had no idea. And then I was out of town, and he said, like, can you come to the studio tomorrow? And I said, like, yes, I shall be there. I said, don't worry, just he said, come, this song I'm going to sing in the movie. This is Gautam Menon's movie, so I just want you to just come and lay down a track for me. He said, like, just there is a cue track, and if you want to like really go for it, just go for it, all those things.
Mhm.
And I sang, I came to the studio. So didn't come for that session. It was Srinivasana was taking my voice for that song. I still remember.
Mm.
So Srinivasana took my voice, and it was so killer because like woo, hoo, woo, hoo, all those bits, all those R&B runs and everything. As I had, because it was the first time and you're just getting familiar to doing all those things. It was quite a strenuous session. It was like very, very tiring at the same time. It's very hard also to like just nail them in tempo and
Mm.
bring all those inflections in that space and time. So it was a wonderful process, and I just kept quiet. And one day, like my friend, who's another composer, it's like, have you sung anything for AR? It's like, if I sing it to you, you have to tell me how whether the song is good or not. I told them this. He said, yeah, I won't judge it and all. He said like, anyway, whatever boss does, like, it'll be amazing. He says he calls him boss.
Yeah.
So whatever boss does, will be amazing only. So I sang it to him because for me, I didn't see. It's a very complex song, ma'am. Sometimes these complex songs needn't be the biggest hits, because. How the audience what do you call embraces the song once it releases and accepts it is a different journey altogether. It's completely out of our hands once it's out there. So I kept it very, very quietly to myself, and then I sang few lines to him. He was like, what the hell is this, man? I'm like, yeah, this is how the song is. And then he was like he was like this, God. He's like, what is this, man? He kept asking, what is this, what is it? Like some 15 times or something. And when the song released, and I the greatest compliment I released for this song was from Haricharan. Haricharan is like, he like, என்னடா ராட்சசா அப்படி பாடி வச்சிருக்க அப்படின்னா. He's like, I'm like, I was like, nah, I don't know, da. It's like, no, he told me like, it's a huge hit, bro. He's like, it's a huge hit. I was like, because for me, like, Hosanna is a sweeter song. Manipaya is such a beautiful song. Like, they're all like easier for anybody to sing also, right?
But I
As
think BTV had a whole lot of hit songs.
yeah, and I must say this on this interview. I've never said it anywhere. When we were at the launch of this, this is where Mr. Rahman's heart is like made of gold. We say, like, he walks on stage. The first thing he says on stage, he says like, Gautam Menon and Haris Jayaraj are a hit musical pair. They've made great musical hits. This time I'm so humbled that Gautam is working with me,
That's so sweet.
breaking away from his friend. He said this, from his friend Harris. I've done some new experimental type of things in this album, like no pallavi, no charnam, like that structure completely thrown out of the gate, and made a song which is not so structured. But I hope you will enjoy it. This was his speech. That's it. I still remember it, like, from line to line. And I was like, my God,
I know.
like, from which planet are you from? Like, and it's like that, right? So,
No, but that's because he's so secure. See,
yeah,
when a person is secure in his space, he doesn't have
yes,
to worry about anything that he says.
correct, ma'am. It's very true.
And
But
I
yeah,
think that he really has so much faith in his own work.
yes, and so
So
much
now
love for
we have
others
to,
too.
yeah, we have to hear you sing this. We all love this song, and
Okay, play. Opa. I play.
yes,
அடடா பெண்ணே உன்னழகில் நான் கண்ணை சிமிட்டவும் மறந்தேன். ஹே, ஆனால் ஹே, கண்டேன் ஹே, ஓர் ஆயிரம் கனவு. ஹே, கரையும் உன்னாயிரம் இரவு. நீதான் வந்தாய், சென்றாய், உன் விழிகள் இரண்டை திருடி கொண்டாய். ஓ மனப்பெண்ணே, ஓ மனப்பெண்ணே, ஓ மனப்பெண், ஓ மனப்பெண்ணே, உன்னை மறந்திட முடியாதே. ஓ மனப்பெண்ணே உயிர் தருவது சரிதானே ஓ தள்ளி போனால் தேய்பிறை ஆகாய வெண்ணிலாவே அங்கேயே நின்றிடாதே நீ வேண்டும் அருகே
Ah,
ஒரு பார்வை சிறு பார்வை உதிர்த்தால் பிழைப்பேன் பொடியன் ஓ மனப்பெண்ணே ஓ மனப்பெண்ணே ஓ மனப்பெண்ணே ஓ மனப்பெண்ணே ஓ மன ஓ ஓ ஓ மனப்பெண்ணே ஓ மனப்பெண்ணே ஓ மனப்பெண் ஓ மனப்பெண்ணே உன்னை மறந்திட முடியாதே ஓ மனப்பெண்ணே உயிர் தருவது சரிதானே.
thank you so much, Benny. So lovely that you sang so much.
Thank you.
I'm sure the audience is in raptures.
I hope they
See,
are enjoying.
yeah, I'm sure there's so much of uh, kind of love coming in. See, one could always ask you of the challenges you overcome to be in the space that you are in now, but in a way, is uh, what really matters is how you overcome that challenge. Challenges come to everybody, you, me, every the next person, the incoming generation, everyone. So what do you think are the qualities that are required to overcome that challenge?
Patience, most important. Without patience, you can't get anywhere in life. That's the greatest, one of the greatest things, that this world has taught us. And the universe teaches us a thing that, like, if you wait and if you wish for it, it'll come to you.
Yeah.
And it's the waiting. But some people lose it. It's like, how long, like they keep asking themselves this question. And it never, I think the point is like not break. And that requires a lot of determination. And it requires a lot of what do you call, positive thinking towards overcoming that challenge, because challenges are good if people can take the positive angle of saying that, this is actually gonna help me grow, and this is gonna help me in the future. And in the future, if I have something like this that comes to me, I'll have at least a starting point as to how I need to approach it. And whether it is life, whether it is music, or whether it is art, or whether it is a friend, or whether it is an argument, everything is a challenge and obstacle for you to just hurdle it. So I think I would say patience, and definitely determination, and a positive attitude.
Yeah. See, because sometimes, especially in cinema, you sing one song and it becomes a hit, perhaps. Let's keep it that way. And then for some time, there is a lull. You don't get an opportunity to sing. So it can demotivate you, really. So that I think that patience and faith, as you said.
Yes, ma'am. And also, like, there is another example to what exactly you just said right now. Like, when the pandemic hit the world, there were a lot of singers like sitting at home, and there was like youngsters, like not the big names or the known singers, like all the youngsters, like really young ones who are still trying to make it. And they're like, oh my god, now there is a halt in this. I'll have to wait for my dreams to come true, probably only after this pandemic gets over. I said, that's so stupid. Like, that's so stupid of you to like speak like that or think like that, because that's not going to take you anywhere. See, I tell everyone one thing: your duty, your what is your passion, and what is the profession. Your passion has to be a profession, right? So music is what you've chosen. Now, what is your duty? Your duty towards music is to make music. So just keep making music, whether it is going out or not. But what happens is, in the process of making music, it actually makes you a better musician than what you are right now. You take a hit, you fall, you get up, you make that song. When you're making a song for yourself, you actually like fall, you get up, and you think, and then you're in like dire straits, like, whether is this going to be good, is this going to be bad. At one point, we all used to think, like, is this song going to do well or not, right? That's all we used to think. But today, it's just all about how many million views am I going to get for this song, or how many, that's the first
Yes.
intention. That should not be your intention.
It's an
Make
addiction.
a good, Yeah, make a good song. Just make a good song. That's all you need to do. The rest of it will just follow. And if it didn't do well, make the next one. You know, it's only going to make you a better musician. So don't sit there and wait for opportunities to come for you. You should create your own opportunities today. You know, like you have to sit there and make music, and you know, like it's gone. And some year is going to listen to it and say like, hey, like even for me, ma'am, like I do a lot of independent music. I started as an independent musician.
Yes.
And I used to write a lot of songs. I did my first album called Varke DJ, like Life a DJ. So you know, it's about me just talking about the fact that you know, like music is playing around you all the time. You just pick and choose those samples, you know, around you in the environment, and you make your own music. So, and I never stopped making. I still make independent music. I'm still working on my album. I'm still working on my EP
Right.
and everything.
Right.
So even though I'm doing film music, I'm not going to stop making music from my side, which is going to help me grow. So this message goes out to all the youngsters out there: like, don't sit there and wait, like you know, for an opportunity. Because only in India people sit and wait for a chance to come on playback. So because I did those songs in independent on the independent circuit, like. One of the composers like, bro, I heard that one track of yours, bro. I loved your texture in that one. Can you give me something close to that for this song? So you know, just it brings you work, right? So
Brings you.
it's bringing you more work. So just use your musicianship. You know, if you can't play an instrument, everything is available online. Just pick an instrument, buy it online, go to Amazon or something, just order one guitar, order a small keyboard, bring it home, start practicing. Everything is available online now. You can just study and you can develop and you can just keep writing music at the same time. It's just not going to do anything wrong to you.
When you say it, it seems so easy, but it isn't, Benny, really. I
No,
mean,
it's a
it's
lot
quite
of things. It's a lot of things I've said. No, ma'am,
yeah.
I learned the ukulele by myself from you know, when I was touring with Mr. Rahman. Is the first time I bought my first ukulele 10, 11 years ago, and since then, like I've been just writing all my songs on this, and then I further produce it. You know, so I write the bass structure of all my songs on this instrument, and it's helped me so much in terms of you know, like just being a music, like, because you know that you are in control of the
Yeah.
writing
So
of the
that's your
song.
Balilaka. You know that phone
My
word.
balelaka.
Yeah.
Balaika.
Balika. Yeah. So sometimes we are blessed with songs that make time stand still for the audience, you know, like putting them on a pedestal to feel, putting you on a pedestal to feel very loved. And I think Onak Inavendum Solle from
Yes.
Ajit and Trisha Starrer um, was one of such emotion. It
Yes.
lingers, it haunts, it mesmerizes, it makes you just be on a high. So, did you feel that when you sang it?
Ma'am,
See, because
see,
I feel that what we feel at the moment when we sing the song also seeps into the song.
that's true. That is very, very true. See, for me, the thing was, I was not supposed to sing that song. The from Harris studio, I was living in Bombay by then. So Harris sir was like, you know, are you free? I said like, sir, I'm in Bombay. Okay, I'll call you back. And then next thing I know, I realized, okay, if he's gonna say he's gonna call me back, probably he's gonna go with somebody because this is too far for. I'm
Yeah.
too far away from him to like just grab me immediately and make me sing. And then immediately on Saturday afternoon, Gautam sir calls us like, Benny, I don't know, but Harris, he called you. I said yes, he called me. He wanted me to. It's like, yeah, but I think you are the right guy for this song. He said like that. I was like, really, sir? Okay, if you say so. Like, and he's like, can you come tomorrow to Bombay? I said, to Chennai. I said, sir, I'll come,
Yeah.
definitely, not a problem. And they flew me down to Chennai the next day. And when I went and heard the song, I was like, this song is like nothing that I've sung before, you know. And and then Gautam says like, "Lilla Benny, I've only heard like I can hear it in your voice. I know you have this side of you which like nobody is exploring as much." And he's like, "I want you to sing us this wonderful song." And I sang the song. It was brilliant, and I still remember like a lot of instances where, because I had completely moved to Bombay, like I was a little, what do you call, under the radar in the Chennai music circuit. And there was a friend of mine who was planning to make me sing a song, and his producer said, no, 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 let's not make Benny sing. He's not even in the scene right now. How is this going to make a big difference for him? Kind of thing. And then I was like, huh, okay, not a problem. I just kept quiet about it. I just kept quiet about it completely. And then this composer who wanted me to sing, he took his director and went to watch N.A. Arindal, the movie. They went and watched the movie. And they were like watching the movie, and that person like, enna song ya in the song எவ்வளோ அழகான பாட்டு அப்படின்னா. And immediately he's like, sir, இதான் Benny Dayal, sir. He's like, he's like, this is he's only sung it now. You realize it's like, oh, and then he was like, the producer was like, they told me the whole story in the story. That's how I know the story. The producer and the composer, they were there. It's like we they were very honest with me. And I was like, the parvala, sir. And then we got into recording. But then those kind of recognitions, and like being away from Chennai and still, being what do you call, blessed with an opportunity to sing something that beautiful is just like
But when the song requires the magic of your voice, I mean, whether you're in Bombay or Delhi or Kolkata, it doesn't matter. I think you have to be there to sing the song. So
Yeah.
now you sing the song for us.
Yes, of course. உனக்கென்ன வேணும் சொல்லு, உலகத்தை காட்ட சொல்லு, புது இடம் புது மேகம் தேடி போவோமே, பிடித்ததை வாங்க சொல்லு, வெறுப்பதை நீங்க சொல்லு, புது வெள்ளம் புது ஆறு நீந்தி பார்ப்போமே, இருவரின் பகல் இரவு, ஒரு வெயில் ஒரு நிலவு, தெரிந்தது தெரியாதது பார்க்க போறோமே, இன்னும் பரமபதம் உயர்ந்த பின் இரவு வரும், தெரிந்தது தெரியாதது சேர்க்க போறோமே, ஒரு வெள்ளி கொலுசு போல இந்த பூமி சிணுங்கும் கீழே, அணியாத வைரம் போல அந்த வானம் மினுங்கும் மேல, ஒரு வெள்ளி கொலுசு போல இந்த பூமி சிணுங்கும் கீழே, அணியாத வைரம் போல அந்த வானம் மினுங்கும் மேல.
I know it's a very different side of you coming into the song. Right?
But then he explained it to me. It's like it's a lullaby, it's a song from a father to his daughter. I was like, wow, this is so beautiful.
So we're close to 1 hour now. So I have to not close. We've finished 1 hour.
We finished an hour.
So I'm going to now run to the questions from the audience with your permission.
Yes, ma'am.
Soundarya Anand is asking for your favorite music director, which I already know the answer.
Yeah.
Anyway, let it come from you.
Of course, Mr. Rahman, AR Rahman himself.
Yes.
He's the one who birthed my voice into this industry, and has given me so many wonderful opportunities to prove myself as an artist. And like every other artist must be, I am so grateful for it.
Rajagopal Deshikan has many questions, but this one is quite different. So I'm going to ask it. Dalir Mandi has become the king of Punjabi pop. His albums are popular worldwide.
Yes.
So can we expect Benny in future to take up Kerala folk or rural music like Mopla songs?
Mapla songs.
Mapla songs, okay. And popularize...
Can you never know. See, because my journey with independent music is through the genre of funk, R&B, hip hop, and what do you call soul. And I keep searching for bringing in I try and bring in sounds that cross over into funk from India. Right. So that's what I do. Like my last album was called Funk Kacheri. So that was the name of my last album, and we had a song called Ura Paru. So Ura Paru, it goes like this: Ura Paru, putam pudu karu, buda kaatu, jannal todumbaru, ninaivugalenu marakada, maradiyum venu marukada. So it's the song is like that. So it's a very, but the groove is like super groovy, very funky. But I try to bring that Indianness into all of it. To answer him right now, I would definitely say yes. I am working on a Malayalam funk song. So I'm because of my capability of understanding other sounds and other languages. I'm going to be attempting a funk song in each language possible.
Lovely. We look forward.
Yes, ma'am.
So our Gopinath requests Benny Sir to sing Kaise Mujhe from Gajini.
Sure. कैसे मुझे तुम मिल गई किस्मत पे आए ना यकीन उतर आई झील में जैसे चांद उतरता है कभी हौले हौले धीरे से yeah.
It's different. I mean, I think in this short period, you've sung so many different kinds of. It's not like different genre, but within the genre, what you do, different sounds from
Thank you.
Benny's
Thank
single
thank you.
voice. That's
Do I
great. I mean,
does that disturb you? No, it doesn't disturb your mind. No, 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 no.
not at all. It amazes me, and I'm
Okay.
sure it amazes everyone because
Thank
it's a wonder. Because I can't do that. You know, when I sing classical, I feel even when I sing film, this classical bit peeps in a little bit. I can't completely, like you, change myself completely because
Oh,
அது ஊறி போயிருக்கேன்ல என்ன இருந்தாலும்
correct.
my
No, ma'am.
roots are so deep.
Ma'am, you are built the way you are built the way you are, you know, and no one can change you like that way. So it's just that way. For me, I don't know. I don't know. I only thank God for everything. You know, to just being given me the right opportunities and right moments in my life to be, exposed to different kinds of music that's really inspired me. So
So quick questions now. This is called the firing range. So as short
yes.
as possible, 4 questions and then we say bye-bye. How
Okay,
is
ma'am.
Benny before and after a live show?
Before I'm praying, after I'm panting.
Good one. Who's your best critic?
My mother always.
And who's your biggest fan in the family?
My brother.
Oh, how old is he?
He's 4 years older to me.
Okay.
He has my name tattooed on his arm. That's how crazy he is.
Oh, that's how fond he is of you. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it better to sing first and then move to acting, or act first and then move to singing if you want to expand
I
your
think
profile?
I think you should just do what you love the most, and then move on to something else that you love second best.
Rightly said. For which South Indian hero do you think your voice suits the best?
I've sung some of the most amazing songs and the most number of songs for Surya sir. So I think
Mhm.
Surya,
Surya.
definitely.
One co-artist who is an absolute delight to work with.
Oh, there are
But
many. There are many.
Yeah, I would
Many,
think that's the answer.
many.
Yeah.
I would say definitely Chinmay is awesome. Shakti Shri Gopalan is awesome. Shreya is amazing. Sunidhi is amazing. What do you call it? Anuradha ma'am is amazing. Shweta, she's so awesome. All of them, like that way, just too many of them. I'm naming only the female. Male,
Yeah.
forget it. I'll see. My love for everyone is the same. Like how our love for music is. It's undivided. So similarly.
True. Hardest lesson that you've learned in life, or
The
rather, the
hardest,
life has taught you. Hardest lesson.
I think the hardest lesson is to not bask in your current success and move on. Like, don't be stuck in what do you call? Sometimes we can be basking in our own glory sometimes, and
Mhm.
that's the worst thing. Like you will never succeed in life. You will never move on. Once you're done with it, you're done with it. See, if it's gone out, like as a piece of music, if it's gone out to the audience, after it's gone out, forget it. Forget it. That's it. It's done. It's over. Move on to the next thing. We have to disconnect from it and move on to next. And very importantly, start from zero every time.
I do the same thing, but a lot of people question me. I do exactly the same thing. Once something is done, I completely put it behind me and I
Correct,
move
ma'am.
on.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to. It's very important, and that's exactly why they question you, because that's a great strategy in life.
One occasion when you could not contain your happiness and wished to stay on cloud nine. Just
I'm
the
not.
opposite of this question.
I'm not there yet, ma'am. To say cloud 9, I still haven't done it yet.
Okay, your best, or should we say your love for which cuisine? You like food. So,
Kerala food.
this city. So, do you cook? You cook, right? So,
Yeah.
which is your best recipe?
I cook anything, ma'am. But since I know you're a pure vegetarian, so I don't want to like say anything.
No,
But
no, no, that's fine.
yeah, but for me,
I'd
I
love
think
to know
this
what you like.
making Kerala biryani is like is one of the most intricate, most layered dishes. So I love making Kerala biryani, and I do the northern Talasheri style of biryani, and it's a huge success. And my wife also, she also cooks really well, so we both do it. Yeah,
No,
we
I
both.
watch these cookery shows and they show these Kerala recipes. There's one which, where the vare ele, they put the
Yes,
fish or whatever, something in the
Pollichada.
vare.
It's called mean
Yeah, and then they
pollichada.
steam it. They steam it
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
it's a,
steam it, or they can even toast it in a little bit of oil in a pan. So I've made that dish also. So it's a very intricate dish, but it's just so many layers of what do you call, just flavoring the whole thing to for it to come together. It's an effortless job done by Malayali mothers and Malayali chefs. But a non-chef like me who cooks at home, a home cook like me, it's a much more strenuous process, but it's such a beautiful feeling once you've
so
achieved it.
since you brought your wife into the conversation, I'm going to quickly ask, what does she like best of you? Which is the quality that she likes?
I am brutally honest with her. But I say it in a like how I say it and I laugh, like that just calms her. Like I'm and of course she likes my memory. Like my memory is so sharp that she can't get away with excuses. That's the problem.
Hmm. Now, when you're very tired, which is the one song that brings back the energy,
Uh,
makes the depleted energy complete?
Ma'am, actually, I don't listen to music when I'm tired. Is that a bad thing? I don't know. I've
No,
said this to a few
not at
people.
all. I'll tell you
I
what I do. I'll tell you what I do when I'm tired. I just sit in meditation.
Oh,
I
you
don't
usually,
even call it meditation. I just stay in silence. That's
ma'am,
all.
I'm not joking. Uh, I just sleep.
That is a form of meditation anyway.
Yeah, but I like to watch something on YouTube. I like to watch pet videos on this thing on YouTube. So I watch these cats and dogs at home. All these funny videos and them being so cute. It really puts me to sleep all the time. So yeah,
Yeah. Since you say that, I like to watch Tom and Jerry
there
because
you go.
that
I grew
really.
up on that. I grew up on that. Yes, Fred Quimby.
One last question. Your best audience in the whole world.
Oh my God, Malaysia.
Even I think Suju said that, or
Yeah,
Shweta said.
Malaysian Tamil audience is the best audience in the world because they just embrace you wholeheartedly. They are going to be singing and dancing and just chanting your songs till you're done with it. And you just feel, what do you call, so elated and so happy when you perform for them. Like every time we know that we're doing a show in Malaysia, it's such a happy time because we know the audience are going to have a great time. They're going to
See,
give us a great time.
yes. At the end of the day, what does an artist require? That love from the audience.
Ma'am,
Yes.
whether you're doing a Carnatic concert or you're doing a film concert in Malaysia, they just love you so much. It's unbelievable.
True, true. Thank you, Benny, for your very valuable time. Tell me something that you loved about this whole program.
Ma'am, I love the fact that you are interviewing me. I just can't believe it. I'll be very honest. Like that's
I was
the
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that to come.
no, ma'am, definitely. I'm not even like joking about it. When I was like told like uh, Khushbu is from Bombay, who was my manager. She was like, Mrs. Sudha Ragunathan wants to interview. I said, huh? Me? like, like how would she, like, why would she want to interview me? I was like thinking like that. But it's an amazing conversation I had with you, ma'am. I just let out my thoughts once in a while, and
Yeah.
speak with someone who understands the entire industry and the entire craft and has seen the entire journey of just becoming an artist. It's amazing. And yes, it is. The only answer is the fact that you are interviewing me. It just makes me really happy. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Benny. I feel so pepped up, and I'm sure the audience is also on a kind of a high, listening to all that you said. Wow. Further with that. And, you have a zing about you, whether you speak or you sing or the body language or the way you sway.
Thank you,
So
ma'am. Meet the touch wood.
keep the zing going forever. And that's all I pray for. And give
Thank you, ma'am.
us
Thank
lovelier
you.
songs and
I will. I
And
will.
keep it going for the youngsters with your, like punchlines, whatever. Sometimes I watch these reality shows and I hear you say something. This is the benchmark. You scream sometimes.
Yeah.
I
No,
heard
it's
you say,
very important. It's very
yeah,
important. It's very important. You have to be, you have to set it out for people, because you're being viewed by a million people, and if you don't set up something for people to like follow, or just take and go home and try, you're not doing anything right after that, right? Music is one art form where you can raise the bar all the time, and
surely,
there are
yes.
many ways to do it, and you just have to find the right one.
So thank you. Lots of love.
Thank
And
you, ma'am.
I
Thank you
really
so
am
much.
forced to get out, though I have a lot of questions pending. And I mean, it could go on, I
Did I
feel.
did I overspeak? I'm so sorry.
Not at all, not at all. See, the point is that you prepare yourself with a lot of stuff because you don't know how short or how long the answers are going to be. So I think you really expressed yourself thoroughly, openly, explicitly, and which is what one needs. I mean, if you always guard it, if you edit in your mind and speak, then
No,
I feel the truth doesn't come out. And I
no,
think you
no.
said a lot of truthful things today.
Thank you. Thank you. Means a
Thank
lot.
you, Benny, and good night.
Good night, ma'am. Good night, ma'am. Take care.
Bye. Bye. Wow, that was awesome, isn't it? We never tire of music nor of our lovely guests across genres, across different stages of professional life, different musician, be it a musician or corporate genius or an instrumentalist or a musical composer or instrumentalist, whatever. So we've had such wonderful conversations, and I think this conversation with Benny Dayal was such an open one. He always kept saying, "There's so much love," and I think that's a wonderful way to approach life, to keep that love factor high in your mind, be it in music, be it in the way you present yourself, or be it in the way you interact with people. That's going to take him places, and God bless him for all that diversity in his music. It was my privilege to have such a chat, and I'm sure all of you enjoyed the chat. Expressions Espresso will go on a pause mode now that we've hit 35 episodes, and I hope we'll get back with you as early as possible. And of course, before I sign off, I reiterate what I've always said: caution, caution about vaccines, taking vaccines. Please do take your vaccines, and the SMS, sanitizing, mask wearing, and social distancing. Wow, it's been so long that we've been doing it that I'm even starting to fault over that word: social distancing. It is our duty as citizens of this wonderful country and on this earth to get back our happy days. Till I see you after a short break, ta-da!